Hello Barmy Badger Army.
Hey Badger Army.
Today we're going to be talking about some new films that are coming out, and we're going to talk about Samuel L. Jackson at the age of 70 on this week's On the Bench. How are you, Nick?
I'm okay. I'm still recovering from being ill over the weekend, and I'm just hoping we can get through this video without me having a coughing fit.
Yes, yes, indeed.
I've got to try and kind of like keep my voice at a reasonable volume and not talk for long periods.
Remember, I'm the loud over the top one anyway, so it's fine. But yes,
depends what subject matter we get on.
It does indeed, because you do like to get on your soapbox every now and again, sir, which is always good fun. But yes, today we're going to be talking about Samuel L. Jackson. Now, he has recently got to the grand age of 70, which I think is awesome. And the fact that he was obviously in the recent Infinity War, he's in Glass, and
which
obviously
is out next week, is that?
Next week or the week after. He's been in loads of really cool action films. He's been in over 10 years worth of Marvel movies. All of those have been action based, and apparently he will be in the new Spider-Man film when it comes out. Nudge nudge, wink wink. And there's lots of other things where he's going to hopefully do some cameos in Miss Marvel and things like that. It's insane how things like that are going with it, and I think he's just been so busy, and I think he's been in all those Star Wars films, which pretty much, you know, obviously Pulp Fiction started his action career, and then he's been doing lots of action thrillers since. You know, it's mad how you think how well he's done. And was he in Red as well, Nick?
Quite possibly, yes.
I think he was in Red as well.
The other remarkable thing is, I mean, he didn't really get into acting until I think it was his 40s or something
really?
like that.
So really?
He was a late starter with acting.
Yeah, so not that long really. So it just shows
Hope
you
for us all.
Exactly, hope for us all. And there's lots of things you can do when you're in there that are fantastic with the situation. And he's obviously trained up and done his craft. I don't know what he did before that, but he must have had a career before acting. Do you know, Nick?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. If you know, let us know in the comments. But obviously he spent a good 20 years doing something else, and then decided, you know what, I want to be an actor. And I think that's great to be able to do that.
It goes to show that, you know, it isn't too, that, you know, it's not too late to learn new things. You know, you get people in their 40s who are like, oh, I'm very set in my ways now, but you don't have to be.
No, you can do lots of different things and lots of interesting things, and perhaps I need to take that advice myself, being a man of 38. But yeah, it's very interesting how he has obviously managed to develop this action hero slash badass persona over the last, you know, 20 to 30 years, and I definitely think that attributed with Pulp Fiction and lots of other things. What's your favourite film of Samuel L. Jackson's, Nick?
I'm not sure if I wouldn't necessarily say I have a favourite film, although I do remember the first film that I saw him in, which was in a film I actually managed to win on video many years ago. It was,
VHS.
Yes, Loaded Weapon 1.
Okay.
It was a spoof of Lethal Weapon and a bunch of other ones. I think
Right, okay.
Basic Instinct got sent up in there as well.
Really? Okay.
And, yeah, there was, but yeah, it was all about. It was all about to do with kind of like murder involving cookie dough and stuff like that, and yeah, it was hilarious to sit through. It was actually really funny. It had Emilio Estevez in it as well.
Really? Okay.
So
was it like a good spoof film? It wasn't a bad spoof. It was actually entertaining.
Spoof film. It was a good spoof.
Which is quite rare, really. You know. Obviously, you got the scary movie ones that are fairly good. The first one was my personal favourite with spoof films, and you got other things like that, like the Paranormal Activity ones. We got some spoof ones as well.
But that was more. This was more from the era of you know, like the Naked Gun.
I was just about to say Naked Gun with Leslie Nielsen.
Yep, Hot Shots as well.
Hot Shots Part 2.
Yeah, so it was like, so yeah, it was from that sort of era of spoofs, which I suppose is like the golden era of it.
Yeah, definitely, like the early 80s. Police Academy, was that a spoof or was it just its own thing? I'm not sure.
I suppose where you consider that there was a lot of police shows around that time, and then they took it and made it funny, which hadn't been done much at the time.
Yeah,
you know, so.
What's the name of that guy that does the vocal impressions? He's fantastic even to this day, isn't he? I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look that up.
Weird Al Yankovic?
I think, no, from Police Academy. You know, the guy that did the sirens and all the different noises.
Can't quite remember.
I can't remember either. We're going to need to research that. But yeah, it was fantastic. And going back to Samuel L. Jackson, you know, he was like a legendary actor, and he's great. And the bit that I saw in Infinity War with him in at the end was fantastic. So if you haven't watched it, he does do a cameo in there. It's not really a spoiler. I think the film's been out well over a year now, you know, and it won't be long before Endgame, which is going to be great.
Yeah.
I wonder if Samuel L. Jackson
it hasn't
will
been
be
out
in
for over a year. It just feels like that.
Really? Okay.
But yeah, so yes, long live Samuel L. Jackson. Keep going, keep fighting that fight.
Indeed, yeah, he's a great guy, and I'm really pleased that he's going to be in lots of different films. And, you know, I really hope that he's going to be in the next Marvel films with the next phase coming up with Captain Marvel and things like that. Hopefully he's going to be all those, but he's dead set going to be in the new Spider-Man films. That's something to look forward to. And you wanted to talk about Mary Queen of Scots,
as we mentioned, of course, Glass is coming out next week. Mary Queen of Scots is coming out next week as well, which
That's right.
I was involved, which I was actually an extra in. I was an extra in that film. It was filmed in Kent back in October of 2017. We had to wear these really intricate costumes. When the film comes out, I'll post some photos of me in the costume.
How very dapper, sir.
Yes, and I do look very dapper in them, I must say. And I had my moustache twirled upwards.
Oh, awesome.
So yes, you will see that firsthand.
That's fantastic.
So yes.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit about the experiences on the set, Nick. And I remember you vaguely telling me how knackered you were, and you had to do like this really long trip to get to the location and things like that.
We did. I mean, I had to get up a lot. I had to be somewhere at like just before 6 in the morning, somewhere in London, and then we got transported over to the site in Kent, which was this really beautiful castle, really beautiful location.
Really? Do you remember the name of the castle, Nick?
I can't for the life of me remember it, but I will look that up, and when the film comes out, we'll talk about it in a
Most
bit more
definitely,
detail.
I think so. Yeah.
And yeah, and it was it was a really great experience to be part of. I think it was the first. Well, it wasn't the first major film I'd done because that was Final Score, but.
With Dave Bautista?
Yes.
That's only just come out, really?
It came out in September.
That's right, yeah, a few months ago. And it was in the cinema and on Sky Movies, I believe.
It was.
Double
That's
release.
The way forward, people.
Double release.
Apparently.
Yeah, apparently so.
And we did, and it was really nice. It's a scene at the end, which Saoirse Ronan's in, and if you watch closely, you'll see me in the trailer. I'm like right at the back.
Very
yes,
cool.
I now have it ticked off my bucket list that I've been in a major feature film and appeared in the trailer.
That's awesome. I think even to appear in the trailer, that is awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
Because, not being funny, the trailer will in a way outlive the film's watchability for a long time, because people will always look at old movie trailers and they'll always look at that, and that is now in the universe, Nick. That must be so awesome and such a proud moment for you to be in the film and in the trailer. What was the experience like on set? Was it long hours?
It was one day. It was a long day. It was it was kind of like dark when we got there, and it was dark when we left.
God.
But I mean, there was a lot. I mean, we didn't actually have to do much. We were just kind of like standing there and observing what was going on.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, in that sense, I can't complain too much about what we were doing. We were standing up for long periods, kind of like just looking at what's happening, you know, and then we were done for the day.
Well, that's fantastic.
It was a real experience, you know, being dressed up in the costumes and stuff. I had to go to a proper fitting for
Really?
people.
Now that is awesome, actually, to be able to say that you've done that. You got fitted for a legitimate film costume, and that costume is probably in a museum or in a vault somewhere or an exhibition somewhere, which is pretty cool. If you think about it like that, that's really interesting when you think about it like that.
So yes, I'll be posting some photos from the shoot date. Obviously, it's been under wraps until now. So when the film comes out, so look out for that on my Instagram page, Acting Nick. And don't forget to follow him as well, The Badger Show.
Indeed, on various forms of media.
Yeah, so yes, it's so yeah, we've got into film season.
Yes, excellent. So we're going to be talking a lot about different films and things like that. And if you haven't, of course, seen the Spider-Verse review that I did the other week, please do check that out. And if you haven't seen this week's other episode of On the Bench talking about vegan sausage rolls, please do check that out too.
And also look out, because a new comedy sketch that I was involved in has just been released as well, called Papadums. So that's going to be that's going to be linked soon. I'll post a link to that on my Instagram, and we'll talk about that a bit more in a future video. And
of course, the other video that you were in where you played the policeman is out now as well, isn't it?
There's at least one of those.
Well,
I've played a policeman in quite a few series now, but I should mention that one of the series where I did play a police officer, How We Met, has just been nominated for an award with Digital Media Awards.
Whoa!
So yep, so it's actually been nominated for there's been a few kind of like Best Actor and Actress nominations for the lead actors and actresses, who definitely deserve it because they are all extremely talented. And also another series that I was an extra in called Imperfect has just been nominated for awards as well. So well done to all that cast and crew.
That's awesome. So, now, here's a question. Do you think you'll be able to go to the award ceremony? Do you think you'll get an invite?
I don't know. To be honest with you, I'm actually not that fussed myself about going.
Okay.
I just want kind of like the series and the brilliant cast and crew that I worked with. I want them to do well. I want them to be.
Definitely.
It's about them. And I want them to get some recognition, because one thing I've learned about working in the industry is it's so welcoming to all kinds of different people, and also there's so many brilliantly hard-working people, in that industry, who are so accommodating to you, and bring people in.
That's mad, isn't it? It really is mad.
There's always a really good atmosphere on set, with people. You're with people who really enjoy what they do, and and they lift you up.
That's awesome.
There's a lot of jobs where you're surrounded by people who don't lift you up. So it's good to be in that sort of line of work that where they do.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that insight, Nick. That was a great insight into the film industry, and hope you guys enjoyed our little chat about Samuel L. Jackson. Please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the show if you are new, and please do check out Nick's social links and myself's. That will be in the description, all being well. Look after yourselves, keep safe, keep well, Barmy Badger Army. Much love, and if there's anything you'd like us to talk about on the bench, let us know in the comments, and have a good old chat with us, and we'll both respond in due course in the comments below. Bye for now, Barmy Badger Army.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for watching.